we stream on our social media handles, where exactly would you find them? So, if you go to YouTube, it is at Net2TVGH. When you step onto the Facebook platform, it is at Net2TVGH. Same remains for Instagram and Twitter, with regular updates on Facebook and Twitter. So call one to alert another, to notify another that the dialogue is on with Padmore Agyapong together with myself, Isaac Clotte. So let's start the discussion, Padmore. Enra President Nene Mu MPP communications team Mu Bonko Mokakra Obo 1 or 2, Nyama 1 or 2, if I could refresh maybe your memory, and for those who don't have the opportunity to maybe listen into that conversation, the president reminded the communicators to go and trumpet loud the achievements of the party. Secondly, he also asked the communicators to spread the word of adhering to the COVID-19 measures. He really stressed on that point, that in your communication to the electorate, please stress on the need to adhere to COVID-19 measures. I mean, these are some of the issues that the president raised. But what did you make of your interaction with the president?
Well, I think about time here. Also, president, why politics actually? Was some MPP party actually? It's near my the total common so ye the elections in, so because the president in Nima na enyanokre. What deep party actually was several as an organizer paint when send ye co-election ye to Tuniama na ye the two common. Baby, I drew no. I think so over the weekend, no, banner issues be back. Na if say Ashanti Regional Chairman make comments be some fail send the comments no na 2 hash. Ewo NDC running me to me no near there so. And he said saying ka ye be kan niema president ni MPP aban ba ya ekoso na discussion na chim akogina eno so. Now, no, president has no said, David. Many can share sim free me fee. Men can't share a fear for, men can't share me ma. Say about one I better no. A me and I John Mahama. John Mahama betina kunyaso in fee 90 sep man penny. And I Ghana for ye in the sin chain. Ghana for the man betina so in fee 9 so man penny. Intime ma mesra mo se mo kwa kasa dia. Munu say a nearma John Mahama Baye in few 9. Any a nearma me papa President Kufuado me Baye and the Yakokan was much the Ghana Funina. I deba kwem there's also say MPP for ye kase ye ne ya number kote said ye omukono na enye MPP subai. So you bad fat personality near attacking no near guni hoofing that is not MPP.
Right.
The president de Kenya and said Monsha Sianki Kamone Mambo. Na Monka Bontin Kokan Niema John Mahama ye and the Niema me buy my beer. Me buy a baby and a Ghana war and baby a Ghana could do. And no na Ghana for a petty are ne muma ubia nkonko ka ubi ho asem senipa because election any power asem nieka nyuma ho asem nieka. It is all she say president ne tena ase ehwe se ne emeko na oba out like this no e say one na need elections aye bekoyechi also mo bia nkoka bibia e de ethnic city sembeba so we free Asante we free Angona we free Fante also no yeah no asem ne ekoka
right
ebio mo bi ngoka se we your ba na we ye bema ye na ye nipa it is not here some papa ne kana o two MPP for there but o hwema enye MPP for nko a o two Ghana for nyina for
right.
Because as I said, Utu Jama for no to O to the Mafono, no to NBC for so for. Maybe ma saying ye be. Na me 2 months more for say, dear Quine Afano, Most more fast akwan na so bi. Make a bear me say NDC for so nipa wo di omanim. E candidate Mahama. Ono so be ba bontia be ka kire ne NDC for na sama President Akufo-Addo time bi na no akan. So President Mahama betime bi na no akan bi a ne NDC for member me sama man.
So I can say military for intimidating votarians.
Me say President Mahama former president betime ka kire NDC for di na chi. So send Akufo President Akufo-Addo aka no. Mr. Muslimu who say elections here between me back 4 years, the Mbaye, and the also 4 years, the one Baye. It's Yanka issues, more Bianco, with Nippet once a man. I'm a former President Mahama. So why are dear? Timisha, send easy phones to between about one thing. I pay follow example now, President Akufo-Addo. I can't tell people for saying now.
Musa,
go move to me.
I don't know to me.
Some NDC in attack nipa no can issue not to NDC I be paying. That is why a president MPP ni bia be di umachi. That is not MPP. What do you the attacks are NDC for a move deba. So then someone say started so almost finance minister Gabriel almost says kaku go mufi.
Yeah.
Ashase and throw yin tran tron tunko for so yin tran tron tunko for so and some that is NDC. But President Debbie, and I stand 100% with the decision of the president.
Right.
Because enye nipa na ukudina tem, enye nipa na ukuguni hufino, and na kwa weni vote na mao. But kona uko kachire nko for the waye no. Mema example bi. When him say President Mahama etia kunyasono.
Yeah.
Even from the time I was vice president, there are a lot of corruption issues bata no.
Okay.
Say you got top plane or Brazil, Mbrai 190 president at the time. Obedi Akunya 2012. From July 24th na edinisi Akunya so. Ebesi 31st December 2012. Nesa term no end ye no. Unim Ekana John Mahama Bogana within 6 months. Less than 6 months.
Denka.
John Mahama Ghana budget na ya ye. Odi Ghana budget na da ho no ebo 7 billion Ghana cedis.
Excess of the budget.
Overspend. Budget overspend. Say you July.
Yeah.
I think free July say Nanka this year no end no. Na President Akufo-Addo asa win 2020 election no. Nanka February or January name President Akufo-Addo about Bontia catch Ghana for say a free July ya umi ekosi December no.
Yeah.
Budget parliament jitu we this budget na wie. This budget ni wie no. And was said 8.7 billion Ghana cedis extra account. Wow. The Ghana for President Akufo-Addo day. That was at dear President Mahama a year Ghana 2012.
Okay.
Right? But remember another example. The Chief of Staff, Julius Debra.
Right.
In the office. Budget na wedi yamano 7.4 million.
Okay.
Within a year, so I'm finding in Juma 7.4 million Chief of Staff budget.
Right.
After call every year no. Na wedi 48.8 million Ghana cedis. Obi a budget ye de call parliament ye say only 7.4. Every year na ye hwehwemu no na wedi 48.8.
Almost 7 times.
A crop bay na say Ghana. And under NDC now bet me a deal minor brose a crop bay now bet me a we are free nanam. A crop bay will be as but where is he when this? And I'm in front of me, Joe. The figures are there, the reports are there.
All right.
Okay. Under President Mahama, we had a president for once, he was accused, say, why bribe?
The Ford.
Of course, President Tiakunyaso. He was accused, say, why bribe? Ekoya much charge because say any bribe na a gift. A crew bay na president of Tiakunyaso openly akwaje gift. What to be paying? Ekrobe. Omampenya oti akonya so. Na even police ni onam kwa ngwa man nje gift. Yes, my police ni nje gift o. Now who the commander in chief of all the forces.
Now say
Saja beka say what
gift they be foreign visitors be share president. Oh, now president so achene stu.
No, omo no sa nkofo no ba em no dey pleasantries.
Yeah.
But say obi atok card the amount. And I say any panenya contract will chrome. What is president about that?
Issue now can. Okay.
Or the Ford the President Mahama.
Eastern Corridor.
Yes, or the Ford the President Mahama. Ghana man contract say jitna. And you call this a gift. A gift. This happened under President Mahama. Sadan seme bae. Ghana nkwa under President Mahama. And I tamu sika pudwo say they call branded buses over 3 million Ghana cedis.
Right.
Say they call bus branded. Regida. Maslock. What the young can within this year, any pass say and I do my courtroom say under NDC, Obu Bo my chrono. Any part of say?
At least 3.
Now, see, ruling a buy, one with Sky, I say, Omufande. A total of about 18 point something billion Ghana cedis.
Oh, venture capital.
Venture capital.
Okay.
And the president say, Monko can't Ghana for, dear, bet 2 year, a memoir na Ghana womb, and he say, a memoir Ghana womb. My memoir. In fact, when I did Mr. Mama time, I mean, because
go ahead.
The president Akasa, and we have to let Ghanaians know. Right. Ghana fool. Fast forward, President Baye. Now, say that this focus no more promises. So went to me and the sooner name of Monye. My memo bought a Niema Kakra so when you're exhaustive, we are just a few.
Okay, say I can collect. Say a bon comment until the cost.
Yeah, you can say a one village, one dam. And be been set to one village, one dam.
So much as here.
Good. You can say a Bama ambulance. Constituents to be our Ghana ambulance. President Baye also obey free SHS. Free SHS, no. Mamia NDC for you know, some running made Professor Nana Pokwajiman. No education minister. Or say a dear free SHS. MP before Bedada, moment to me free SHS. No education minister. I feel also MPP for any policy be out the FSHS no. Nemo may omufia bem no cancer a omono NDC was no and almost started progressive free SHS. And MPP for si bo mame any ye da say. Ye ni policy be any a policy now the started free SHS no. Any progressive no fair no my I am be say bet me ahwe no improve minim so china no say policy na no ye no or the Bema Ghana force no ni die ni a. But meanwhile, she had the courage to tell Ghana for some people before Timmy faces, and the faces say, one district, one factory.
Right.
Automobile industries are eba or maimu, set it up. Send your bayer, means Seska, Enko Toka or Germany, not Germany car business, Enkos, not Ghana for your 1 year.
Right.
Baha. Abashisha ka no ha na me amatoka no ha
ya. It is VW the assemblage of those cars.
Exactly.
Tiguan another
Toyota so I'm telling you, Koso. Office of the Special Prosecutor, President says a moto abamamia met office no. Nanko for office President Betisa office no the akutampa court now and now betino they are equal to a court now because MP before Nenya. But President Tisa office no 100 courts now and NDC ni.
Right.
It is as a president only the independence of such a body idea and go back of find the opposition member say or no and on mayor a special prosecutor or maim. Zongo Development Fund, yes, a bet you who Moko Feska way, dear Maya Mazungu. Oba was setting the Ministry of Inner City and Zongo Development. I setting the Zongo Development Fund. Are all channeled to the Zongos and inner cities. When you ma ekoso. Your debt to GDP ratio. And I had deno. Don Mahama mube free abemu 2016. Na Ghana yes ka ye nya Ghana ha nyina. Afene so a Yedi emu about 71 ochichemua emu po edioson ba ko edioson miensa so ni ediko tuayeka etini e wo mu be dunson ana dunkun bi pe ene ebetimi ya ye adwuma wo man mu and NDC o ska ni nyina ne ediko tuaka e wa bonten yenye hepik me ne wo kasai President Akufo-Addo bai busa say ye deputy justice say ye adwuma wo man mu a sika sai ne esesa de kotuaka
true
na sai ene nya e wo man mu e de ye adwuma and with the NDC it is all say oh ban this comparison and there is no way NDC betimi compare to MPP my member planting for food and job with for example fiscal discipline
right
2012 now odi excess of $5 billion no $5 billion no because 8 point you know they about $5 billion now president better can see there be you ntimi say Ghana sir so say mama yam famre bi enchichiri yan ho atumi ni say yensa say obetna Ghana konya so a untimi ndi Ghana sika mro budget so by 5%.
Okay.
Untimi ndi mro so sa. John Mahama dia na wo ye nti na president say ye to so sa ye be sell man nya mbupa. So say me no ka say there is no way president betimi akodi Ghana budget abro 5% deficit unless say or parliament say because of a niema ye nyina ye nim say esinti na parliament na Ghana fo nya de ani gitum pe ni aka che ye MPC asem na president kan ye no kwenti we de ne mummy ala na bia wontra but say ntisa there is no way aban bia betimi atra 5% e cho say aban a ne ni abre so obo Ghana ho ban now we go for NDC deal with the just say buburuja.
Yeah. And to weigh some of these issues now, President say Monko.
Yanko, be say Samekasa me ba NABCO graduate unemployed association away. And now we school. When him say they are we national service, you will be on NABCO bit me absorb now mau experience. And the Uko ran NABCO 1 year, 2 years, no say. You maybe the advert about graphic, so me pay 2 years experience and NABCO about 2 years experience. What me apply for easily?
Okay.
That is visionary. Oh, june o man mano e call that mu. Me no ka say forest we nipa e fine. Nurses, teacher for ani e kire o man die. Meti and me chairman ya kwa Baffour Abronye. Meti say o kan assembly or interview be or grant here over the weekend.
Right.
Hey, me shame.
I say
Professor Jane Nana Opoku Agyeman. NDC in running mate no. Unsa say pictures of Nema by social media sending money na obia wo PhD near there, which is good. I mean education there oko anima eboa.
Yeah.
And I brought your case. Well, yeah, ne hwehwe mu no, ne hwehwe mu kire say ma many money nyina Ghana buy ma almost scholarship. Enom de kwaye omu PhD.
Okay.
Just Ghana buy yen tua tax no na ndisi aban ema size can be. And you mungwani ba bebre na benefit. And you say it. But he wanted to set the record straight say they benefited from the scholarship fund.
Okay.
Na ma amene na education minister o jima ne ma. Owie a teacher for omo no say 500 400 kakaka di momo etuaka no ono no gi scholarship kese man ko abrochi kosu ade wie no no ka che mama say teacher for na etunom de no ontwem
allowances for the teachers.
Of course.
Your own trim.
I know the young chum. Now scholarship for the Macquarie PhD.
Now the man who go school during her tenure as.
Oh, also the scholarship. Me, I'm here to verify from the scholarship secretariat. Okay. But he say he has verified. Right. Ghana scholarship. But teacher for yet to my coach idea. Now we are woman. Me no work at your mama's own job. You know, young cham mombro for the now una kwada your professor na wa bet me show man who crowd the what's called just scholarship amount. Because I am yet to verify, so I'm quoting the interview with Abronye on this. But I would doubt if Abronye any fact no.
Right.
Banking sector cleanup. Digitization now, Dr. Baumia Bayo, Castle be champion. Your digital address system, your port system. BEF and DEF, all the economy is being digitized.
Right.
Ghana Investment Promotion
Center
Council or DFG. Me know what I say foreign direct investment. Actually, say obi wa Turkey, obi wa Germany, opeso obeye juma wa Ghana. Sika do side or the free ni krum ba Ghana beye juma. Me know what I say under MPPCC. You average over $3 billion every year.
In terms of
sika for the free abonte be share Ghana economy no be nyuma wa.
Okay. All right.
Just Ghana economy no robust. It our confidence in so this free abroad ba betim dia be adwuma anyamfa so wa ha. That is how far Ghana economy wo. And the NDC wo when na this ka be Ghana so be adwuma. I am a friend dey nsako share obonum.
Right.
And the president says same way no and amonko ne enche Ghana fo na Ghana fo hu say ye buy and niema ya no and this intimi for mu metoto niema ya ho.
Right.
And a big create man country we there were for the restoration of teacher training allowance, nurses training allowance, book and research allowance for our university professors
under
NDC and Jinano book mensa.
Okay. A good picture what painted their president per se mokoye, but also their okay and per se mokoye a very important undertaking, especially for him. The second part of his interaction with you, what I got was he further called for the stress on the need to adhere to COVID-19 protocols. Even in spite of the high recovery rates notwithstanding, the president can say, we as a nation cannot let our guard down. Or how do you take that as you enter the battle for campaigning?
Nipa bebre na fi so COVID no kra nya no kre. Sa ne bi mo afa no. Because ebi nye no. Ne busu ni bi ananu ebi nye no e ma ne hu se ade se ehu. It is still na no hwa abonten nipa bebre edidi agro.
Yeah.
O be ko mbe hia bebre be dwam o mo nhye mask o mo nhye we no mani agi no de o mbe evuti sa ade ni ho. Good news is that the numbers now hit over 24,000, but recoveries near over 19,000. And the active cases are about 4,000 baby.
Yeah.
Idea a chain say, any part of Donna, I want to meet home. Meno can say, Ike, a bare possible say, any pub baby, I remember crying, crying, yabi. And you want to without even knowing.
Right.
Because by the time now, if you need bar home, say, I didn't say I can't or my name crowd dada. But maybe at that time, be but near if you so a cold be pneumonia be a 1 year treaty and maybe I want to be toy because now a immune system no. And one day, to the president, you can say, yes, set that example. Now your man go phone say, Yariano, a wampa. Nti ye kasa ye kan ye ma ekosina no so ye send two go for ade ba ko a mani G president we hu so much ne say sane ode edipa nkwa osom te se kusua te say de maybe o kan no say Ghana economy say ya president Akufo-Addo nyame ya de mo sa atoma me a metimi aye Ghana economy ni ye na say ye China COVID kochi Baffour Agyapong na Baffour Agyapong wu a ye bede nyane Baffour Agyapong abanko intimi enti president de bia dia odwene ho no say obeye president na umama yare a de president no enti de ya ne pa say yenkwa nyame dia cheye me mfa ni agro e COVID times mu yemmo ho ban se ne bia bia ni swade hu nyame dia ma no person de Ghana kono ye nyina betim de ye niwa ahwe bi Nietimian de Nyamia say, oh, my president, which is His Excellency Akufo-Addo.
Their presidents, no, we share their course on the political terrain now. Is it going on? Are political parties urging the electorate to adhere to the protocols?
For once, some of them
right.
For once, this last weekend, I made a video. Saso Janina, not Sam George. I think the military also Mubona Baso. He deserves to be promoted.
Why?
men fancy and mekasa offensive to be a monfancheme.
And the enkai.
But say me na me sojanina e ka me bona sumo ha.
Oh, are they?
As an honorable member of parliament, Carlos Ahenkra as a nose mask. Yes, or tested positive for COVID, echo run. And this new best original big one resign from the position. Honorable member of parliament, what be just so genuine President Ama order, so be nose mask. When so ako jina so genuine on nose mask, kasa tinte so gunenum. No more than kwa. They should have locked him. Ako na no so kobechi ni seka mu lock no. Court straight and then I court without a nose mask in front of a military man. Now me met me at the no mask police and him kasa because I'm random man who can one chimney.
Until Urgent say then that irresponsible act.
Totally irresponsible. But it tells you say such a person baby no MPP for but look at the behavior. And to me, yes, sir, president didn't want to. And I'm going to go to MPP for, but new MPP for
right.
A common Ghana for you now. To me, I'm NDC for so much here. Yes, sir, Okonas will be to the Baffour, not for Bidia to Jim. We trouble them to say, oh, my maybe actually ba or your mate no tune for. I will sit and listen some.
Right.
Sani kind of way cheek us up. And me, Sam George, you know, you're very careful. He's a young man. Yemfa patapasam, yemfa gidigisam, yemfa detractors. To stand in front of a policeman and say, power will change you. I always tell you people, power will shift. When power shift, I would. Oh, nonsense. How can you say this way? Because tag down, so we MP. The patience and the restraint that police he deserves to be awarded.
It's a freedom of expression.
It is not freedom to put my life at risk.
Right.
So I now say nose mask and I'll just be now walk and family home.
Okay.
But to stand right in front of me and spit on my face, you can't do that.
In an aggressive,
provocative manner. You cannot do that. To even threaten me that when you come to power, you will deal with me. I will deal with you first before you come to power and do what you want to do.
Right, right. So these are the opening remarks or the opening shots from Baffour Padmore, Agyapong, the member of the communications team for the New Patriotic Party. Of course, the issue remained the interaction between the president and the NPP communications team yesterday, where the president outlined his vision as the party enters the campaign period, which is very, very, very imminent. There are a couple of issues that my guest, Padmore Agyapong, will be going into. But just before we enter into those discussions, let's just update ourselves on COVID-19 figures this morning. As it is now, 24,518 persons have tested positive since testing began, with unfortunate deaths of 139 people. But the recovery rate, like the president said, is quite encouraging, with 20,187 persons making full recovery. So just a bit over 4,400 people are currently COVID-19 positive. But well, last Sunday, did you make a date with the International Charismatic Church? Well, I did, and I listened to the General Overseer, Bishop Opong Edujemfi. But this Sunday, please make a date again. It was quite a refreshing sermon, and I hope you will be refreshed too. So make a date and join the service on Sunday on Net2 television, of course. It will be streaming on our social media handles, including Facebook and YouTube, and it remains at Net2 TV on both platforms. And of course, the show starts from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. If you don't have a TV, quickly head to Franco Trading Enterprise and grab a TV where you can watch, of course, the International Charismatic Church, because Franco Trading has introduced branded Franco television sets onto the Ghanaian markets, and they vary from 36, 40, 43, and 55 inches with a free wall mount at affordable price. I know Focus wants to buy his fiancée a Christmas present this Christmas, so he was asking me, Paulo, should I go for 43 or 55 inch? I said, well, the bigger the better, so he's going for the 55 inch. You can also do same. Head to the showrooms for Franco Trading, and they are scattered across the capital. Where do you find them? You find them in Adabraka, La Paz, Circle, Osu, Tema, Madina, Hacho, Koforidia, Ho, and Kaswa. To call them, the number remains 0302 225651. 0546 133 188 is another number to call. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone Papa Fie. The discussion still goes on the dialogue with me, Isaac Clotte, and we'll take a look at another story where it is reported on page 3 of the Daily Guide. Excuse me whilst I look for that story. Yes. Ordinarily, I would have, liked to continue the political commentary with Baffour, Agyapong. But there's a story on the 3rd page of the Daily Graphic which says, police chief ordered out of Yendi. So if, just for the sake of clarity, for those of you who haven't seen the headline yet, here we go. So police chief, ordered out of Yendi. So if I can read just a few paragraphs. Ernest Kofiedu reports that the Dagbon Traditional Council last Saturday ordered the Yendi Divisional Police Commander, Chief Superintendent Peter Akoko Ayirizang, to leave the area for allegedly disrespecting the Dagbon King, Yana Abukari Mahama II. Residents of Yendi, acting on authority of the king, kicked out the police chief for arresting and detaining representatives of Yana who had gone to assist the king to resolve a disputed chieftaincy case that was also under police investigation. The story goes on and on and on and on and on. But I'm it was baffling to me to see the chief of the police team that is meant to maintain law, order, and discipline in the Yendi township. It's a very sensitive area, we all recall. But this has happened this morning. What sayest thou on these issues?
Say and some are fire himful, some one. At times, I know cano, or cano, why careful, Kaka. But incident where is, I mean, I was saying open up on so now you put in maybe into perspective. Dear Edikain, the king, Diana, I hope, sir, as a chief, as a king, or what, ne subjects are or no more a year juma.
Okay. A council of elders.
Yes, council of elders, Bibisa. And I am pen be brain so no. Assembly bar. I am fear Emponia de Asemnoco, a cusisi.
Yes.
And I wish no here and I say, Yana, his Majesty or His Highness, Anwa Esma, and him for be echo CC asem.
Right.
Give me Busamo say Nana in his wisdom. I want one chieftaincy issues are now, it's me to Nipako CC. A dear Semon Kwan between only police penina or when so Nana to me and in NCC.
Right.
So, baby, a question. Accusation is a wabuna nanimtia, which a sign is see police penny so one money homoding because baby, I would did you mano, penny or one no, a did you mano no. It was what did need ye be a mano. But put here as some police need penny so can. Was it a mra a before by signer ultimatum by say also uncle Mutin in Yajuman? The BNI director, any or non divisional commander or ebe mu ananka omu peso mu na nakasa nanka omu etie abrante nanka omu sisi.
Okay.
But I'm saying in the midst of that na abufu entino eno entimi amaso.
Right.
The am then say papa na gya to mu say well only obi ye adwuma. Which is acknowledging say when oye adwuma. Yes, oye police ni a oboama emra aye adwuma bibia de but oni nana ene ne nkofo na edi adwuma no. And he said, why you be nana fee say be a ankoyi na nana so untim ne nya adwuma wa report amanim paying for. He's a good policeman. I training in conflict resolution.
Right.
It was person tawanta bibia besinti ojitum and a free her time near the man. And I'm here so sending paying for so ne kasai because no say so omran crime. It all back and crime. Addition dia me person na you film ne say yen nananom ye hemfo nom omu ho for peace asomje sa asamba nana ho ne ekọ ne de asema koto na nanim na nana sisi it we de mesre sempem bi ba na sembi sei ba ya nananom omunya botrema ye mpanyimfo kakra because menya sure say police panyi a one nanati edijuma obesori prekumpe bi akase nana kasa wantie waye bibi unless say or bia na bibi ko so a emrabu no fi say e wo senka oye bibi na boban enkofa bibi ma na bia de oye no oye because there will be no way say police penya won e ohen pon say dijuma obebu na nimtia
right
no no I mean wo no police penyin kwa no ya tetew se na ebe ya de didn't kwa de bibi beba bia no obeso ano na me yeso say enno ena mabunu ni sorry ya ye nana kasa akọ no wa no so jim say nana kasa abati
right
young ye bia I like the way calm because bibi kakebe akebiti me spark bibi calm no okay but the process no na me dey me advice nananom ene ye paying for especially police paying for so asem bi say na ye can asem wa himfie dispute resolutions wa himfie ye bet me use those channels no me ye sure say police pay you in the commenter he on share no timu say obebu nananimtia eti whatever the issue nanka or ye willing say nanantie no nanka won chirim madam says na ye kan ebufu ba sometimes the niema bebre eba ne ade enti ye nyina ye fa nye suade hunu kese say tawantawa na ebufu ba sometimes yemfa ye ego no ento ho na ye ntie ye because am say de no hwe nyina say kanana emma na audience na ntie na num asem because ebi asem a obi abeka kirew no different from asem na nkasa se ne etie tinanko wo hwe say na man ne kwan sa na nko no so meka na asem but then ye kan once ye di kan ebu awofo akase wo bu na nanim tia de ya na edin say ye besa ma kwan say be gina na nanim mpo na nanim mekasa nti police mpanyimfo no omonhwe na omne na dankasa na kam se na be obi bia obekwa akodi djuma no bibia be ye kam.
Right. So, of course, that was the opinion of Baffour Agyapong on the issue relating to the police chief and Yendi being run out of the town by the indigents of the community. Of course, we are calling on the ministries of Interior and Chieftaincy to, Jojo with the Yendi officials to, let calm prevail. But we are fortunate, we are sure that calm will prevail. Now back into the terrain of politics. On page 17 of the Daily Graphic is a story which says NDC sues EC over registration in SHSs. So Ebo Hoxton, if I could just take your indulgence and read a few paragraphs. Ebo Hoxton, Emmanuel Ebo Hoxton reports for the Graphic. He says the opposition National Democratic Congress has once again sued the EC over the voters' registration exercise. This time around, the NDC is challenging the decision of the EC to conduct a 2-day special registration exercise in senior high schools. In its suit filed at the Accra High Court last Friday, the NDC describes the action of the EC as illegal on the basis that SHS campuses are not part of the registration centers gazetted by the EC. I could go on and on, but just grab a copy of the Daily Graphic and see the story for yourself. But for EC, BB illegal war. Registration centers are any part of their EC, their betu ja. Adena EC, yes, and MPP Moshe so EC.
NDC a very funny group of politicians.
Oh
yeah. Only a very funny group of politicians. Didn't you make answer and say, Menewoka say, NDC for some of their elected offices, echo round secondary schools, see echo monitor registration. Idea officer illegality, or participating in it. I didn't know why participate, say illegal, no, who can be any year, no, I was found the court to say illegal. Then illegal means you don't go there. But they know, say.
Are you saying they are not principled enough?
No, yeah, but they know, say, any illegal.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a Ghana for I said they be a can no MPP for any easy we are and this in imperfect adena easy no easy embrem wo kwan bibia so mu ye omunim but emrano ma easy no ho kwan say so ye registration bi say na say e bia nipa edoso ba bi ni ade a easy no betimi a create special polling centers, additional police no more they are here, and no more person more there.
Right.
In any case, school more a 1 year polling station you vote, right? Registration no more no. All on Corano Cocho Mudino. You bet revert abba baby bia what ya obesa over to abba. I want a beko.
So the registration centers, SHS centers, no, you're linking Mamu with the polling centers in the community.
Oh, fine, say, presidency in school.
Okay.
Meti Medina. Me school agree memorial Cape Coast.
Right.
So say me Cape Coast. Yeah, trading. Me to me, me trading wa.
Okay.
It is a bow near Beji me ID card, national ID card, we be near verify say I am me qualify say me trade media. The moment I met Remedino, in the process, you better say, and I what here, person what to waba.
Okay.
So I will give that polling station name. No matter share, no, they don't ask mechanics until they will transfer it to baby a metwaba. And this is for him. They know. It's not because idea will say illegal. No, after what was my own call for, and the wages, no matter what the movie, and no more. It's still now contested or participating in illegality and contested at the same time.
Right.
What's the idea? And so I didn't why would you be now? I was afraid the cocoa idea, and miss me, you be no, and yet. Why?
Now, person who say, "Sir, registration, no, say it's over, and now you're extending no."
Well. Minim if the EC it me achieve because obia and register any so more disenfranchised obi and then on Supreme Court ruling naka and this be EC time no dey any sa enti no obia and register omo ho kwan so mo mani pa ne kwan
okay
extend no register enti whatever it is say your man no ye nuanom ketwa no omo deserve say omo register to aba and then o say si omo kwan no o say omo kwan no omo chiro omo di no omo to aba. Also, I did about quite funding. It's a process we know. The way a political party away and say, "Who do agent?"
Right.
It's the idea who agent in the answer or shall say, "I am pa omo betchu mudini and omo deserve so much mudin." Omucho mudin swa. Senior was a record near and a sign because at the end of the day, piano and this new or the numbers a be register. Every command NDC for so and they acquire and you pay 200 the betchu mudiwa. So easy bana is nipa 300 ubetimi a challenge because you know 200 and you be assigned 200 so the process no is so free fair
na se see na NDC court no let's take it that you exercise no where do we go from there? You've taken an exercise which is over
not on the court the umpeso mu nyina ne say yenuanom na omo ewo secondary school sa omadu so moto aba no eni say omoto aba.
Yes,
NDC4 neka. Almost say what the 18 year was secondary school, but still in this our about because we could school.
Okay.
na emra manipa no ho kwan se wadi 18 years wo so to aba se man into aba emra na ka che isi se obi a qualify so train din make sure se nipa na train din ase ma isi train din ti de ombe so mo ye nyina ne se enka isi no entimi register school for no
to whose benefit and not to whose disadvantage?
Because they are saying say in the wisdom of God our the man president say onye free SHS no sa square ye wo school ye mu be we school ya benefit free SHS enti omo ntuma NDC
graduate
ama Akufo-Addo enti any yan na ke say no.
Oh Lord.
Okay. And this for omo plans on secondary school ade ni nyina no me omo ntrom din because aban ahwe omo ntom ba beto ama aban. That is their plan. That's their mentality.
Does that look like the case?
It is not the case. Fane say NDC ni ben die hard NDC ni ben and no ne ba e benefit free SHS o woni fie kura o kan sempa fa Akufo-Addo ho kire no. Omo pa omo nya fair enough. Say even in their homes, omo admit say free SHS the president aya the papa be boa omo. They will even run it down on their children.
Right.
Bo head the tantan bi omo ye mamo head the we say we ye ne wo hanke be say and easy. They can do anything.
Right. Anyway, so this is the take of Baffour Agyapong on the issue of NDC suing the Electoral Commission once again in court, this time over registration of SHS students. In a short while, we'll be going for a quick short break. When we come back, this year, the closed fishing season is not going to be closed anymore. The reason, because we all thought it was beneficial. But Padmore and I will be looking at the reasons and maybe the opportunities that will come from the non-closure of the fishing season this year. But just before I go, let's just take a few messages before we go for a quick break. Good morning. Please, God is with you all the time. Continue to be blessed in Jesus' name. I'm James Mahama from Tamale. James, we are grateful to you. This one says, good morning. Please, Mr. Agyapong, the double salaries MPs, what is going on? Okay, maybe he forgot to list that in the issues concerning Mahama's previous administration. 90s Trend says, NAPCO is one of the best policies of the NPP, but boss, the implementation is quite poor. Corrupt attitudes going on in the office. Trust me, arrears since last year is still pending. But of course, NAPCO is a good policy to start with. There will be issues with its management and administration, but it's good you pointed it out. So then it could be resolved. I think it's... Anyway, it's now time to just take a quick short break. When we come back, the conversation for the nation continues. We'll be right back.
What you near me and the good in so.
You are near me out. You can free education and I'm a many at your crime could do. And when here,
what come here, some pow? Hey, I only a band. Yeah, near Quattro dear, send a baby a new voter Sadi Kaidibi.
Now feel ready and to a banana nana, now on to a new mapa or no so. Oh, boy, 2020, 4 more for Nana. 2020,
and she say, I go and just a corona yarino, a twitcher. Yes, I would face mask ever she with him since I over my day and from my issue. If ye a yes, aspiti. A bombo a yes, I yaresa. Mama yankamum and contia corona yarino. My yensi Ninsayeno and a quine. Yen shall say a better tea and Tim Annie be crano and a mommy and son. And Kobe be a nipa actually so now fee shall say when you have so a much and cool. For Humbo home and she say yeno a year juma. She say, well, what dear, what you could tell Yariana, I was so no one soupy, since you pum a brano brano. That man wants you also. No, what you know, the Emiania, and what you woman. Emudia, when Yarino be an intia. Yema or do any nim. Na yenny one ya any beano and Tnafeso. Tnasiwo, a hobambo. And you are said, yes, or my back. And Kabui if we NCC.
So, welcome back into the show. You're still watching the dialogue with me, Isaac Clotte, and the guest remains Padmore Agyapong of the New Patriotic Party. He is a member of the communication team of that party. Earlier on, we've discussed the president's interaction with the communications team of the NPP, which took place yesterday. We've also spoken about the police chief who was ordered out of the Yendi community by indigenes for disrespecting the chief. The voters registration exercise enters its third phase, of course, this week and today. So for those of you who haven't registered yet, please, you are reminded to head to the voters registration centers, the various ones that is assigned to you or that you are used to casting your votes there. But you know, just before you leave, you have to wash your hands with soap under running water and apply hand sanitizers just before you leave your home, whether to go and vote whether to go and register or to do any undertaking at all in public. And of course, when you get to the voting or wherever you are going to the registration centers, please ensure that you are adhering to social distancing protocols. A meter or two apart from the next person is vitally important, very, very vitally important. And don't forget to take your nose masks or face masks when you are stepping out in public to either go to the registration centers or to conduct any kind of business for your personal self. So please, face and nose mask and ensure social distancing. I beg you. If all of these things are difficult, just take your remote, lock it on the 2TV, cross your legs, grab a bottle of soft drink and keep watching Net2 TV, because after here, more interesting programs comes your way. Of course, National Agenda. We have The Seat, which will be coming on later at 8 p.m. The back page of the Daily Graphic is where we continue our story, and we'll take maybe a 5 to 7 minute look at this story, and then we will activate the phone lines where you can share your thoughts. Yes, you can share your thoughts. So the back page of the Daily Graphic, there's a story which reads, 2020 closed fishing season called off. The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development has called off the 2020 closed fishing season for fisherfolk in the country. This had come about as a result of inconclusive discussions between the ministry and fisherfolk on the matter due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. The sector minister, Mrs. Elizabeth Afolekwe, made this known when she received 1,300 Yamaha-branded outboard motors from the Agric Development Bank on behalf of the government in Tema last Friday. The outboard motors are to be distributed among the fisher folk in the country. The story goes on and on and on. Like I say, grab a copy of the Daily Graphic for yourself and you can peruse the story. Right, now Baffour, I say, their experience last year, close fishing in terms of Mpoanoa, Yakochi and Namno. You say this year, Sa Ijumano, Yenjebium. Me Asheme. Because this year, some of them said a lot of fish was caught last year. I don't know. So COVID crama with there was and you be now
in the wisdom of Nyameno, if you ask BBS, so we now
so just this, by the way. So on the screens currently is the 1,300 Yamaha branded outboard motors that was received by the Ministry of Fisheries for distribution to fisherfolk across the shores of the country.
Na enwa asa hihye ne ho bio na asaba, especially why agriculture pen asase class wodo so a du baby e fe no fallow period du jai to na enwa asa hihye ne ho ansa na wako asa akodo so sa na nipa nso sa wo ye ho adwuma adwuma bi a ye ma olive no atena fie te se de class of detergent na nkobi na akotena sekakra na wadwodwo ho na ho asa ye din na wasaba Sana insum ene abodi mo insho etie clothes season no e buy se ye betum ye mom kof fisherman for no nkopo afare for no nkopo na emmoa no omuntimi nyenyim omuntimi ntunkosi omuntimi nwo production no enkoso bebre zan ye bia ukwa obenya nam bebre achi na me no nyina be ya adwene se efise covid yi bai aha niema bebre be sabi nipa dodo a bia nko mbekọ pokra nwumo mu beye social distance ne niema bebre abetete niema ne bebre so covid the hardships kakra aba in times like this we are so insensitive na say oka say wo say enforce niema bebre because already no o ma nyi nam bebre ti say de wo say nkomutimi eti nam no da so wom de nka wo say ye chi o mu da gina krom da so wom
yeah okay
eti no it makes sense say eno no chinchina on force say on kotum because covid ama enam yi no ekofom
right
it is also akotum already no deficit bi abadada afisa afrafo no nyuma yom sika sem ne niema ekofom kakra in the wisdom no enye sa ban na tena ase no se da bi omuni kuo ni nyina tena ase eno mo keka ho na de ben so okay ene no kra no yentum
okay
sani ebeya omomwo yire no omwo ma enam yi omo adwuma no kakra no covid hardship ni ade kwa ne betimi abo omo kakra enam ne nso because yen yi no sani wose yi ne nso ntino obviously eno in a way etimi a replenish kakra ama me yese stock kakra wo ma ombetimi ade atwa season no enti menya sure say just came say yenya kwa na mum looking at situation as say nyina yewu na say wo hwe how ebia one stockpile tie won sum say ni ade you could say it will make sense say yenja season no because it affect the numbers so much say bia na yantum tin na be ha dabi
okay fantastic, but I just wish I get my regular fish for my quick plate this homo. At all costs, there should be my herring in my palm nut soup for my quick plate this homo. Right, 0240-550-899 is the number to contribute to the program. Of course, this announces the activation of our phone lines for today, 0240-550-899. A lot of messages are coming in. Some are directed at me. Let's share them. Right, okay, we've been told today we are not picking calls, so let's share some of the messages which have already come in. This one says, this is from Anthony Eduse. Mr. Clotty, you are getting it wrong. Wear the mask and you can add the shield. The shield alone doesn't prevent the spread of the virus. And Anthony Eduse comes back again. It looks like he's quite worried about me. So watching you from Boston, please, Mr. Clotty, wear the mask, not just the shield. It prevents you from having the virus. Okay, Mr. Eduse, we'll definitely deliberate on that and we'll see if we can combine both the mask and the shield for protection. Right. Pat Love Daniel says, so far the NPP has proven to be the best government for Ghana. Also, some of us earn something every month because of NAPCO. 4 more for Nana to do more. This one also says, I can boldly say, okay, all right, I think he's talking about the cars, the assemblage of vehicles in Ghana. But the message has scattered several places, so I cannot get the head and tail of the message. So Kwabena Poku, please send that message as maybe one message and I can share them with the whole world. So Padmore, here we are, phase 3 of the EC registration exercise. Gradually, seems like we are inching towards the end of the voter registration exercise. But just hold on that thought. I've been reminded that we have the birthday window which we need to be activated. So there are 5 celebrants for this year's birthday celebration. For those, let's see, are you one of those who are celebrating your birthdays today? Well, In a minute, we will be finding out the happy-go-lucky persons who the 13th of July seems to be a very special day. This is Mami Ifwa Anan from the Anan family inside Tema C3. I guess this is the Nanaba family, eh? Okay, so Nanaba, this must be a relative of yours, Mami Ifwa Anan. Right. Okay, I see the cheeks resemble that of Nanaba. So enjoy your day to the max, Mami Ifwa. Next is Phyllis Dede Quail. Happy birthday to you. May God continue to bless you. This is coming from Aram Hayan. That's a nice smile. You can see how my producer Randy is staring at her lips as if he's seen an angel. Fantastic one. Phyllis Dede Quill. Who's next? Happy birthday goes to Original Focus. Fantastic. DJ Focus. Right, so this is the focus you've been hearing about every day. Focus here, focus there. That is the focus. George Sarkodie, God bless you from the entire family of Kencity Media, especially from the Dialogue, National Agenda, Asirat, all the shows that you help produce. Thank you and congratulations. Happy day today, Focus, George Sarkodie. So who's next? I wonder what song Focus is singing there. This is Harrison Ford, an American movie actor, right? For those of you who recall, I've forgotten the title of those movies. Yeah, he's a movie actor. He's one of my favorites. Tomb Raiders or Raiders of the Lost Ark, yes. Indiana Jones, the Indiana Jones series. Of course, he featured prominently in all those Indiana Jones movies. Finally, who do we have? Oh, no, not myself. Today is not my birthday. So we are thankful to our production team for helping us celebrate Focus and the rest. Sorry, I truncated their now Bekano.
Yeah.
Phase 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is that ne kra ne say ye baby na ukuta voter ID card.
And one yeah.
You started 2 weeks ago, no. You see who challenges kakra in terms of numbers, no, overcrowding. Second phase, no, na devices strategy so umbema numbers kakra as space, no. So I'm sure say by now, no. But member easier baso idea ba ko mo ye.
Okay.
If you say idea start here NDC for accuse you mo umbeso mo bua mo beso mo bo mo nye. Unze say me no ka say National Identification Authority see issue 12 million cards. EC registration ya ye so. EC say enipa register na uchichema emu over 70% use national ID card and a betro mudi. And now head sa analysis on NDC for ye and a national ID card no kran any any pama nemfanye and obeso be moon. Osha numbers we are now be someone say NDC for analysis for me and say. Because don't want the national ID card no the coach room with it. And no problem no be and here disenfranchised will be and no be no one every he. And he made a message. Idea may boom about so my idea say my update.
Okay.
Week biano me so the banipado doa I register. No the statistics number. Cost 1 year sa ko say August 6 ni betwam. No one just you who ni pado do kra that an young train and so my can be no be akaka no kra.
Right. Fantastic. So we are thankful to Padmore Agyapong. These and other opinion of his has made the program very interesting. Today, of course, it is the Dialogue, and we are thankful to you for being part of the show. Like I said, always, don't go nowhere. The national agenda will be coming your way. But just before we do that, let's update ourselves on figures for COVID-19 this morning. So as of this morning, 24,518 persons have tested positive since testing began in the country. Total recoveries as of this morning remain at 20,187. So there's a net figure of about 4,400 persons who are currently affected by the COVID-19 ailment, and unfortunately 139 persons have lost the battle. Well, as you go out to cast or to register or to indulge in your public or your personal engagements, remember to wash your hands regularly with soap under running water. Take and wear your face mask as you step out into town. Please adhere to social distancing protocols. A meter or two safety will be all that requires. And well, if all these things are difficult, like I said, keep your channel, your TV channel remaining at Net2 Television. Cause coming up next is Yao Amufa with the National Agenda.